The Harvey Weinstein who hobbled into his final court appearance before the trial in December was a far cry from the confident, powerful media mogul more accustomed to red carpets and paparazzi.
The more victims that they have, the more charged victims that they have, the more likely they'll be able to obtain a conviction.
Kristen Gibbons-Fedden knows about the pressure of a high-stakes celebrity rape trial. She helped prosecute and convict Bill Cosby.
They're going to need to be able to establish or distinguish between Harvey Weinstein, the creep, and Harvey Weinstein, the criminal.
More than 80 women have accused Weinstein of everything from unwanted touching to rape, going back decades. The list is a who's who in Hollywood. But this trial only covers 2 specific cases. Weinstein has pleaded not guilty to 5 charges, denying that he raped a woman in a Manhattan hotel room in 2013 and that he performed a forcible sex act on a former production assistant with his company in 2006.
They're going to be able to use 2 victims in order to try to obtain a conviction.
Gibbons-Fedden says the key is showing Weinstein consistently used his power and influence to prey on women. Weinstein's trial will hear from a number of women whose allegations against the disgraced producer aren't on trial.
The prior bad egg witnesses can testify about the pattern that high-profile offender engaged in order to sexually prey upon them.
One of those witnesses will be former Sopranos actress Annabella Sciorra. 3 other women will also testify. Douglas Wigdor represents one of them, whose identity hasn't been made public.
She knew that as time went on and she got older and maybe had children of her own, that she could look back and say that she tried to make a difference in something that was very important.
Weinstein's lawyer, Donna Rotuno, has publicly criticized the Me Too movement. So this criminal defense lawyer says her strategy will be to put the accuser's stories under a microscope.
If you really want to win, that it is best to give a competing story, which you don't have to prove, but a competing story where enough of the facts fit into it to make it plausible.
In the first big case of the Me Too era, lawyers say the desire to seek justice for the broader movement versus focusing on the specific charges and evidence will be a key challenge for jury selection.
It's going to be impossible to find jurors that haven't heard of it, right? Which is what you want to do in all cases. The next step will be to find jurors that have heard of it but can put aside their preconceived notions.
While the defense is sure to pick apart the victims' stories, Gibbons-Fedden hopes the conversations around Me Too have educated the public and courts about how sexual assault survivors behave.
That there is no typical response to sexual abuse, and that if there is a delayed disclosure, if there are efforts to normalize, if there's continued contact with an offender, that does not mean that that woman or man was not sexually abused.
Gibbons-Fedden says the Cosby conviction should give Weinstein's accusers and the prosecution confidence. The question now, will the evidence provide a compelling script to take down a man who was once one of the most powerful in Hollywood? Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.